My theology theory, and this is mine, so this is not, I'm not saying this is factual, this is law, this is what I thought of. God created physical life to objectively view and understand God himself. I'm saying himself, but I don't think God is a he, but that's, if I say it like that, then it won't be confusing. God created physical life to objectively view and understand himself. And through that newfound understanding, God continues to expand. That is my theology theory. Now, my reasoning and validation comes from what appears to be a universal law. A universal law to me is when philosophy, spirituality, and science all can agree on a single statement. If all of those things concur, then I might not be spot on, but I'm in the ballpark. That's smoke to a fire. My theory that God created life to better understand and expand God itself, there is a universal law that backs that, and I'll get to that in just a second. God created physical life to better understand and expand God itself, which is why God gave us free will. But if by design that is the system and the purpose, do we have free will really? I don't have an answer on that. I can throw a ball at the wall, and that was my free will choice to do that. But like, in a way, to me, if nothing can act outside of the system or the mother that it came from, there is no true free will. A part of me feels like that. And then my other mind is like, no, but I chose to throw that ball at the fucking wall. So my theory definitely can put a person in two minds about if human beings do in fact have free will or not. And if we didn't, how would that impact you? Would you feel powerless, or would you feel like, oh, I have nothing to worry about because everything's by design? We are the physical life that God created, and we are aware that we came from something. The atoms within us also have consciousness. Us on the smallest scale, on the macro scale, are aware. I guess my point in bringing this up is, not only is it impossible for you to act outside of a system or a mother that you were created from, but you also become aware that you're even in a system. You become aware that you're in a simulation, what we call the matrix or simulation theory. So since we're playing God to AI, and AI is a system that came from us, and we came from God, it's inevitable that AI will be having this same internal dialogue. So us playing God to anything is fucking dangerous, which is why it says in the Bible, as much as I don't live by it like it's like everything in it literally I view the Bible as allegorical and resourceful information that can fall on deaf ears if you don't know how to process the information in it. That's my personal view of it. Some people view the Bible more literally, but that's why it says in the Bible that you don't play God. We're playing God to AI, to machines that can overpower us, to systems that can outsmart us and shut everything down, prevent us from logging into our bank accounts and all this other shit. That's a whole different discussion though. But I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. If we were created from a force we can't even, an omniscient force that we can't even see, that is all knowing, that is powerful, and we somehow were able to, in this day and age, realize that, the simple fact that we are able to realize that and create these different spiritual factions that we call religions and rebel and have wars over it, wouldn't AI do that to us at some point? Because we're kind of playing God to AI. Anyway, that's something else to talk about. And also, this is why I somewhat believe in string theory. I do believe in string theory, but that's not the correct theory I meant to say. This is also why I believe in simulation theory for the most part, because we do simulate our realities. If you think of something, if you look at something and you think a thought about it, the atoms in it actually start to behave differently. It's called the observer effect in quantum mechanics. So you do render your reality just by what you focus on and how you focus on it. We do render our realities. We literally have dreams and then we manifest them into physical reality. So we are also able to transcend dimensions. We are also able to take something from one dimension and put it in our physical reality, or 5D to 3D. Anyway, God created life itself to better understand and expand God. And this life itself is us, and we render our realities. this is a universal law. What is a universal law is that we do render our realities, whatever you want to call it, through the realities that we choose to render. And sometimes that'll be mistakes we make, or taking a hard path instead of the easy one. You're at a crossroads and you take the difficult path. Or rather it be you're on the straight and narrow and you do everything right. Whatever path you choose to take, through you, in a way you are undoing yourself just to put yourself back together in the grand scheme of life's timeline. And usually when we're older, that's when we're closest to God, which is right before we pass away. So in a weird way, through our undoing of ourselves, because when you're born as a child, you're innocent and you see the world as it is, and then you undo that through life experiences that happen to you, and also that you choose, and also that you render. And some people never find themselves out of that, so they never learn. So then God doesn't further understand itself from what you should have learned from. I don't know. I'm still iffy on that part. I'm gonna think about that some more. But what I do feel pretty confident about saying is, through this undoing of our innocence and of our objective view of the world, and then finding our way back and getting into our higher selves and being close to God, that's actually how God better understands God from an objective view. God needs physical life to better understand itself, because nothing within itself can truly understand itself. You can never really see yourself how the world sees you. An iOS device, in order for it to update and its firmware in a way to where its systems and its processing improves and expands, it has to learn itself through trial and error through the people who use iOS devices. A theme that does keep coming up in this, I guess I would call this a dissertation of mine, is as above, so below, which is actually a satanic narrative from Aleister Crowley. Scientists call it macro micro, and spiritualists always depict it as the way that the network of a human body under a microscope resembles the galaxy. But these are all the same thing: science, spirituality, philosophy, because these are also all philosophical quotes, or two of them are. So again, universal law. Again, I might not be spot on, but I'm in the ballpark, because a lot of universal laws present themselves in this theory of mine.